In today's video, we will talk about everything about the Galactus, and after that, we will discuss that Galactus will be not lose in End of Fantastic Four First Steps, and he will be main villain in Phase 7. This is shocking, right? But it will happen 100%. No one is talking about it that Galactus will be the big bad after Doctor Doom. Maybe after Secret Wars, Galactus will be the main villain of the Marvel Phase 7. Fantastic Four First Steps will be the only setup for Galactus. Okay, first let's discuss about who Galactus is. Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, is one of the most terrifying and fascinating characters in the Marvel Universe, a cosmic force that represents an entirely different level of villainy than most Earthbound threats. His introduction in the Fantastic Four comics marked a dramatic shift in comic book storytelling, elevating heroes from city-level protectors to defenders of the entire universe. Galactus is not just a villain in the traditional sense, he is more of a force of nature, a being driven by necessity rather than evil intentions, and his arrival on Earth is always a signal of ultimate doom. To truly understand Galactus, we must go back to his origins, the circumstances that created him, and how his path inevitably crossed with the Fantastic Four, forever changing the landscape of Marvel storytelling. Long before Galactus became the towering, helmeted figure that fans recognize today, he was a man named Galon, hailing from a universe that existed before the Big Bang, a universe older than ours. Galon was a scientist from the planet Ta, a highly advanced civilization that had reached technological heights unimaginable to present-day humans. However, even the greatest civilizations are not immune to the forces of entropy. Galon's universe was dying, consumed by a cosmic phenomenon known as the cosmic collapse, a slow, inevitable death of all matter and energy. As his universe crumbled around him, Galon chose to face the end head-on, piloting a ship directly into the heart of the cataclysmic force, hoping to witness the universe's death firsthand. Instead of perishing like the rest of his civilization, Galon was fused with the very essence of the dying universe, merging with the sentient embodiment of the cosmos. He did not die. He transformed, re-emerging in the newborn universe as Galactus, the sole survivor and the first being of a new cosmic order, cursed and empowered with a hunger that could only be satisfied by consuming entire worlds. Galactus's transformation was not an accident, but a cosmic inevitability. The universe needed a balancing force, something to regulate the excessive proliferation of life across the galaxies. Galactus was neither hero nor villain. He was a necessary cosmic constant. But from the perspective of civilizations whose planets faced annihilation at his hands, Galactus was the ultimate destroyer. His immense power stems from the power cosmic, a source of energy that allows him to manipulate matter and energy on an unimaginable scale. With the ability to rearrange the molecular structure of matter, create and destroy life, travel through dimensions, and grant unimaginable powers to his chosen heralds, Galactus is one of the most dominant entities in existence. Galactus does not hunt planets alone. To avoid the tedium of searching for sustenance himself, he creates heralds, cosmic beings infused with a fraction of his power, tasked with finding suitable worlds for him to consume. The most famous of these is the Silver Surfer, originally known as Norrin Radd, a young astronomer from the planet Zenla. Norrin Radd, desperate to save his people from annihilation, offered himself as Galactus's herald in exchange for the safety of his world. Galactus agreed, transforming Norrin into the Silver Surfer, granting him incredible abilities and enslaving him in service of locating other worlds to devour. The introduction of the Silver Surfer brought depth to Galactus's narrative, showing that while Galactus himself remained distant and godlike, his heralds often carried the burden of guilt, morality, and internal conflict as they watched countless civilizations perish to satiate their master's endless hunger. Galactus made his iconic debut in Fantastic Four issue number 48 in 1966, during a storyline famously known as the Galactus Trilogy. Written by the legendary duo Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, this story redefined the scope of superhero comics. Up to that point, heroes had fought gangsters, dictators, and alien invaders, but facing an unstoppable cosmic god was something entirely new. The story begins with strange cosmic phenomena affecting Earth, and the Fantastic Four, known as Marvel's first family of superheroes, find themselves investigating these anomalies. Soon they encounter the Silver Surfer, who arrives to prepare Earth for Galactus's consumption. Panic and chaos ensue as humanity realizes that their entire planet is about to be destroyed, not by invasion, not by conquest, but by simply being a meal for a godlike entity. The confrontation between the Fantastic Four and Galactus was not a simple battle of strength, but a clash of ideologies and cosmic balance. Reed Richards, the brilliant leader of the Fantastic Four, understood that defeating Galactus through brute force was impossible. Galactus was beyond their comprehension, a being who could crush them effortlessly. The conflict revolved around the heroes trying to outthink Galactus, to find a way to protect their world against impossible odds. The Silver Surfer became a pivotal character as his interactions with humanity, particularly with Alicia Masters, the blind sculptor and romantic partner of Ben Grimm, the Thing, stirred his dormant sense of empathy. Witnessing the courage and kindness of humans, the Silver Surfer rebelled against Galactus, choosing to defend Earth rather than doom it. This act of defiance provided the Fantastic Four the critical opening they needed. Reed Richards presented Galactus with the ultimate nullifier, a weapon of such power that it could erase anything, including Galactus himself, from existence. Galactus, respecting the courage and intelligence of Earth's defenders and unwilling to risk his own destruction, chose to spare the planet, vowing to leave Earth alone. This conclusion was monumental, showcasing that even a god could be swayed, not by strength, but by determination, compassion, and intelligence. It elevated the Fantastic Four from simple superheroes to universal guardians, capable of standing toe-to-toe with the most powerful entities in existence. The character of Galactus continued to evolve over time, appearing not just as a recurring threat, but also as a complex cosmic figure with moments of reflection and nuance. Writers explored his relationship with life, death, and balance, portraying him not just as a villain, but as a cosmic necessity. Galactus was revealed to have a unique status in the universe, destined to be the bridge between the current universe and the next. His existence ensured that life did not grow unchecked, which would eventually cause universal stagnation and collapse. Galactus was not evil. He was tragic, condemned to consume to survive while being aware of the suffering he caused. This duality made him one of the most philosophically rich figures in the Marvel pantheon. Galactus's impact was not limited to the Fantastic Four alone. His presence sent shockwaves throughout the Marvel Universe, drawing attention from the Avengers, the X-Men, and even the cosmic entities like Eternity, Infinity, and the Living Tribunal. He fought against and alongside other powerful beings such as Thanos, Odin, and the Celestials. His interactions shaped cosmic politics, initiated wars among alien empires, and even forced mortal heroes to take their fights beyond Earth's atmosphere. Whenever Galactus appeared, it was never a minor event. It always signified universe-altering consequences. Perhaps one of the most compelling aspects of Galactus' story is how it mirrors humanity's own destructive consumption. Galactus represents unchecked hunger, an insatiable need to consume resources to survive, regardless of the cost. This allegory became especially relevant in modern interpretations, with writers and readers seeing Galactus as a reflection of industrial civilization, devouring planets without regard for life, driven by the need to sustain itself. This layer of metaphor added weight to Galactus' appearances, making each confrontation with heroes not just a battle of survival, but a reminder of the cost of existence. In later stories, Galactus' character continued to develop layers. There were moments where Galactus tried to change, where he sought alternative ways to feed, attempted to lessen his destruction, or even worked with heroes to combat greater threats. In some timelines, he evolved into a force of creation rather than destruction. But no matter the interpretation, his core concept remained powerful. A being who stands beyond good and evil, representing the brutal reality of the cosmos where survival often comes at a terrible price. Galactus' legacy in comic books and popular culture is immense. His introduction set a standard for storytelling that embraced cosmic wonder, philosophical dilemmas, and moral complexity. His towering figure became a symbol of the unknown, a challenge for heroes to overcome not with fists but with intellect, heart, and courage. Through Galactus, the Fantastic Four were transformed from mere adventurers to cosmic defenders, and Marvel Comics evolved from street-level tales to grand cosmic epics. To this day, the name Galactus invokes a sense of awe among fans. Whether it's through the pages of comic books, animated series, or the hopeful anticipation of his appearance in future Marvel Cinematic Universe films, Galactus remains a towering figure both literally and figuratively. His story is more than that of a villain. It is the story of survival, of cosmic balance, of tragic necessity, and of the enduring spirit of heroes who stand tall even in the face of inevitable doom. Galactus teaches us that some threats cannot be punched away, that some conflicts require empathy, wisdom, and the unyielding belief in the value of life. And for that reason, Galactus remains one of the most fascinating and enduring characters in all of fiction. Let's discuss the theory that says Galactus will not lose in End of Fantastic Four First Steps, and he will be main villain in Phase 7. When we think about Marvel's future beyond the multiverse saga, one name that stands towering above the rest, both literally and figuratively, is Galactus. The Devourer of Worlds isn't just a villain. He's a force of cosmic judgment, a being whose arrival signals a paradigm shift in the MCU's tone, stakes, and narrative direction. With Fantastic Four set to reintroduce Marvel's first family into the MCU, fans are buzzing with theories and speculation. But one thing is becoming more and more evident. Galactus will not be a defeated villain at the end of the Fantastic Four's first movie. Instead, Marvel is carefully planting the seeds for him to rise as the main villain of Phase 7, creating a sprawling cosmic saga that transcends any singular film. The MCU is gearing up for something far more ambitious, and it's clear that Galactus is going to be at the center of it all. To understand why Galactus won't be defeated in Fantastic Four's first outing, we need to look at how Marvel Studios has been evolving its narrative structure. In the Infinity Saga, we witnessed a masterclass in long-term storytelling, where Thanos was teased and built up over multiple phases before culminating in Infinity War and Endgame. Marvel understands the power of anticipation, the storytelling impact of letting a villain cast a long shadow over the universe, slowly drawing heroes together in desperation and unity. Galactus is not the kind of villain you introduce and immediately eliminate. His very essence demands a multi-phase buildup, and Marvel is poised to execute that strategy with precision in Phase 7. Fantastic Four will be the doorway through which Galactus steps into the MCU, but it will only be the beginning. His introduction will be a warning, a cosmic alarm bell ringing across galaxies. Think of it more as a looming presence than an immediate confrontation. Just like Thanos was glimpsed at the end of the Avengers with just a smile, but didn't come into full action until years later, Galactus will be foreshadowed through glimpses, cryptic warnings, and catastrophic omens. By the end of Fantastic Four, the world will know of his existence. But the story will intentionally leave him undefeated, unresolved, and most importantly, advancing. Marvel understands the importance of pacing. Introducing Galactus only to defeat him in a single movie would be a massive disservice to his narrative potential. This is a character older than most civilizations, a primordial entity whose hunger is tied to the fabric of the universe itself. The Fantastic Four's first movie is more likely to explore how Earth and other civilizations first become aware of Galactus. We might see heralds being dispatched, planets being consumed, and the Fantastic Four facing the devastating reality that even their greatest strengths are woefully inadequate against such an unstoppable force. The movie will likely conclude with the team narrowly escaping, possibly saving Earth temporarily, but recognizing they have merely postponed the inevitable. This ending wouldn't just set up sequels, but would create an overarching sense of dread and urgency leading into Phase 7. The MCU's Phase 7, as hinted by the evolving cosmic storyline, will likely shift focus from the fractured multiversal narratives back to a singular, unified threat that affects every corner of the cosmos. Galactus isn't interested in political power or localized conquest. He consumes entire worlds to sustain his existence. His arrival would cause civilizations to panic, alliances to form, and heroes across the universe to grapple with existential dread. By keeping Galactus undefeated in Fantastic Four, Marvel guarantees themselves an adaptable narrative vehicle for Phase 7. He becomes more than just a villain. He's an unavoidable force that triggers new alliances, initiates cosmic journeys, and pushes characters into uncharted moral dilemmas. One of the most exciting possibilities is how Galactus's rise could synchronize with other ongoing MCU arcs. The Celestials, introduced in Eternals, have already expanded our understanding of the cosmic hierarchy. Phase 7 could see Galactus not only as a threat to human heroes, but as a rival or counterpart to the Celestials themselves. This creates an opportunity for Marvel to tell a story not just about the survival of Earth, but about the balance of cosmic forces. Heroes might not only be battling Galactus, they could be forced to broker uneasy truces, travel to the farthest reaches of existence, and confront truths about their origins and destinies that make previous threats look trivial. Marvel's blueprint with Thanos established that a successful long-term villain doesn't just appear in movies, they are built through persistent storytelling. Post-credit scenes, small cameos, cryptic references, and interconnected narratives made Thanos feel omnipresent long before his full appearance. Galactus will follow the same path but on a much grander scale. Expect multiple movies and shows throughout Phase 7 to reference the destruction left in his wake. Entire alien races might become refugees seeking sanctuary on Earth. Cosmic heroes like Nova and Silver Surfer could be introduced as key players, and former villains might shift allegiances under the sheer existential terror of Galactus's approach. The narrative complexity of Galactus is also too rich to resolve in a single battle. This is a being whose actions are not driven by malice, but by necessity. Galactus consumes worlds because he must, not because he desires to rule or destroy for sport. This moral ambiguity offers endless storytelling potential. Heroes might grapple with the ethics of survival, debating if Galactus can be reasoned with, or if a universe without Galactus is even sustainable. The deeper philosophical questions about existence, balance, and sacrifice are ripe for exploration across multiple films. By making Galactus the main villain of Phase 7, Marvel allows themselves to create more than just action spectacles. They can craft stories that challenge both characters and audiences to reflect on survival, destiny, and moral compromise. Another key point is the Fantastic Four themselves. As Marvel's first family, their MCU debut will surely be grand. But defeating Galactus in their first appearance would significantly limit their narrative arc. Instead, their relationship with Galactus will evolve over time. Their first encounter will humble them, perhaps showing them as brilliant yet inexperienced heroes facing something beyond comprehension. This defeat or retreat will serve as a catalyst for their growth, driving them to explore deeper cosmic mysteries, forge intergalactic alliances, and transform from Earth-based protectors into pivotal cosmic defenders. Phase 7 could showcase their evolution, allowing them to earn their ultimate triumph over Galactus through perseverance, sacrifice, and unprecedented teamwork. Silver Surfer is another reason Galactus' story will extend into Phase 7. His introduction is not just inevitable, it's essential. The Herald of Galactus is a fan-favorite character with complex motivations, tragic depth, and heroic potential. Silver Surfer's arc from loyal herald to rebel hero cannot be rushed. Marvel knows audiences want to see his full journey unfold. This means multiple movies exploring his servitude under Galactus, his internal conflict, and eventual rebellion. Silver Surfer could even anchor his own solo projects, spinning off from the Fantastic Four, but maintaining direct ties to the broader Galactus narrative. Phase 7 provides the perfect canvas to bring this nuanced character to life without the constraints of a singular storyline. The cosmic heroes of the MCU are also expanding rapidly. The Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel, Eternals, and newcomers like Nova or Adam Warlock could all converge in Phase 7. Galactus serves as a natural antagonist who forces these scattered heroes to align their goals. Previous rivalries and misunderstandings will be set aside in the face of cosmic annihilation. Phase 7 could witness the largest coalition of heroes yet, unified not by shared values, but by shared survival instinct. This isn't just another team-up, it's a battle for existence itself, orchestrated through a narrative that spans years of buildup and culminates in unforgettable cinematic moments. We must also consider the evolving state of the multiverse. The multiverse saga introduced countless realities, timelines, and variations of heroes. Galactus could be the great equalizer, a force that doesn't care about multiversal politics or Kang's temporal manipulations. No matter the universe Galactus consumes, his presence could serve as the conclusion to the multiverse chaos, shifting the MCU's focus back to a singular, cohesive narrative driven by universal stakes. Phase 7 might portray a collapsing multiverse, with survivors fleeing to a primary timeline, or a convergence where multiple realities combine under the threat of Galactus's hunger. This scenario opens the door for the boldest storytelling yet, blending timelines, characters, and stakes in a way that feels fresh and groundbreaking. The tonal shift accompanying Galactus's emergence is also vital. Where recent phases balanced humor, grounded narratives, and street-level heroes, Phase 7 with Galactus will fully embrace the grandeur of cosmic storytelling. Themes will grow darker, stories will become more complex, and the emotional stakes will deepen. Audiences will be taken on a journey where hope is fragile, victories are hard-earned, and loss is inevitable. Galactus symbolizes a return to epic mythological storytelling, where the very survival of existence hangs by a thread and even the mightiest heroes can falter. This shift will reinvigorate the MCU, offering a fresh narrative direction after years of multiversal complexity. Financially and strategically, it also makes perfect sense for Marvel to extend Galactus' storyline into Phase 7. After the monumental success of Infinity War and Endgame, Marvel learned that audiences love multi-year payoffs. Galactus offers the opportunity to replicate that success while elevating it with even bigger stakes and broader character involvement. Keeping Galactus undefeated in the Fantastic Four will create an ongoing sense of mystery and anticipation, ensuring sustained interest in the franchise and creating countless opportunities for interconnected storytelling. Each movie and series will become a puzzle piece in the grand mosaic, drawing audiences back time and again to uncover how the heroes can possibly overcome such an omnipotent adversary. Marvel is also known for evolving their villains from simple antagonists into rich, layered characters. Loki, Killmonger, and even Thanos resonated because their motivations were understandable. Galactus offers a unique twist. His villainy isn't emotional or ideological, but elemental. By extending his storyline into Phase 7, Marvel can explore the tragic dimensions of his existence. Audiences might even sympathize with Galactus, understanding the burden he carries, creating a far more profound conflict where defeating him feels like an emotional tragedy rather than a simple victory. This nuanced storytelling will elevate the MCU's next saga, providing a deeply engaging experience for fans. In summary, the MCU is preparing for a narrative evolution, one where Galactus rises as a central figure of terror, complexity, and cosmic consequence. His introduction in Fantastic Four will be the spark that ignites Phase 7, but his defeat will not come swiftly. Instead, audiences will be treated to a sprawling, multi-phase storyline where Galactus' shadow looms over every plot line, pushing heroes to their limits and reshaping the universe's very structure. Fantastic Four will mark only the beginning, with Phase 7 transforming Galactus into a legendary figure in cinematic history, one whose story rivals or even surpasses the epic legacy of Thanos.